signature, or does it need to be the?
Just
Bank reconciliation, or the revenue detail history?
Bank reconciliation?
Yes, one.
Okay, so I can sign these once I've looked through it.
Are we good? We're good? Yeah, just the transfer funds. Okay. All right. With that, let's get started.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this time that you've gathered us together. We pray, Lord, you provide your wisdom, help us to make decisions that would affect this town in a positive way. Help us to guard the sacredness of who we are, as well as move forward in progress. Thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tom Roberts.
Here.
Randy Hurley. Here. Adam Jones.
Here.
Bill Walters. Steve Rhodes.
Here.
Okay, with that, the minutes from April, those were sent out over email. Did everybody have a chance to read and review?
Are they in there?
They are not.
Okay, approve them. I thought they were
Okay,
just approve them and all.
I make a motion to approve.
okay, we'll look for a second.
Okay. I don't want to say.
I didn't read the notes. I didn't see them. Mike.
Just where they went out today.
They did. I got my email.
Can they approve them though? Adam and Randy weren't here.
No, so we'll have to wait. You
Table
both
it.
weren't here, huh?
April, no,
We can just wait till next month then.
Sure.
table,
I'll make sure I approve them this time.
okay. Claim docket, revenue history, financial reports, and payroll distribution reports. Let's do the very paper
Make a motion
shuffle.
that we pass, approve the payroll. The
Claim.
claim docket in the amount of $323,926.70.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Here's a question on the minutes. Did either one of you guys watch the minutes or observe the minutes? Observe the meeting?
Yep.
Then you know what happened in the meeting, so you can vote on the minutes.
Okay,
I mean, the minutes are just a reflection of what happened in the meeting. If you observed it, even though you weren't physically here, if you observed it and know the minutes are accurate, then you can vote on it.
Go back and do it.
no, let's just do it at the same time we sign it. That way it doesn't get forgotten.
Okay.
Is there anything else that we have to vote on this? Within the financial section of the meeting?
No.
Okay, okay. Let's move on to departmental reports. Wastewater?
Oh, is that me?
No.
Oh, it is. Monthly report, pretty much standard stuff. Weed spraying at the lift stations, 811 locates, lots of those. Disconnect here, there. Letters on doors to customers, and then they have to go, of course, additional locates because the Miller pop-out line is going through and destroying our plant. So that's it. Again, thank you for a timely update.
All right. Let's just stick with you and do water and streets.
All right, Brad's here. Brad, anything on the water?
No, we'll just have to come in a couple, one night at 2:00 in the morning.
That's right. For a
I
couple
gotta
of-
change
changing
2
out
meters
meters.
out.
We have
It's
just
at
a couple
2:00 in
big
the morning.
meters to go. But you need to do them when the businesses are closed.
Well, they won't be closed, it's the time they gave me.
Oh, okay.
Then I can do it 2 to 3, I can shut them down, shut their water off and change their meter.
Um, We have a public hearing next week on the water utility, same night as the redevelopment commission meeting, right after it. So everybody aware, we have another meeting, a hearing for the water utility potential project with the water utility. Then I have a list of items here I want to kind of touch on real quick. Are you ready? There's lots. This is what Brad and Dan have been up to. Hanging the banners on the street, it's like, it look great. Got the splash pad up and running, and it's getting to be a little bit more of an issue, being that it's almost 10 years old. And some parts are having to be replaced, and the parts are not inexpensive. So we need to plan on that, even for, there's a giant pump that he's gonna have to replace. I would prefer that we get it done before the splash pad season starts, and I think he's gonna do it next week. And then, the control board is on its last leg. They're pretty sure it'll last this year, but the guy actually told Brad, that's still working. And so, the intent is to make it work through this year, and then, in the fall, get a new control board. It's not like it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, it's like 2,000 or 3,000, right?
Yeah.
So, the big pump actually is more expensive than the control board.
Which pump, the filter pump or the pump that powers?
The 6-inch pump at $7,400.
15 horsepower, is it?
Yeah, it's 3-phase, whatever, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
but I got one over there I'm gonna change out. Then I'm gonna take it over to Anderson, and the guy said he'd redo the bearings and all for me, then we'll have it for a sprayer.
Painted playground equipment. Cleaned up Shellbarger Park after a flood. They installed the drinking fountain down there again. Hopefully that doesn't get torn up like the last one did. You got the, let's see, what else I got here. They maintain water drains during the storms, remove tree debris, windstorm. Replacing a broken or torn up wood on the playground. Install red flashing lights on stop signs of River Road and Heather Lane. So many various things. Painted over the graffiti again at the playground. We always have vandals over there during the springtime, during the warm days, months. Yeah, that's just a partial list. They have been very busy. Any questions?
Have you gotten any notice of when the Bronco Drive project is starting?
Yeah, right after graduation.
Okay.
They called, Jeff called and see if they could hold that until after graduation. I called EMB, as soon as the graduation's done, I'm coming down there and taking the trees out, the sign out, then they'll come right in there.
And when are you gonna get your part done?
Soon, after graduation.
As soon as, after graduation or?
The day after, the 6th, graduation's the 6th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right after the 6th, I'm gonna be in there taking the trees out. They shouldn't be too hard to take out. I'm gonna try and shove them over.
Before I hand off, just, and I know some of you guys know, but we have quite a gem of a, what do you call it? The orchard behind the school over here.
Yeah.
It is just a beautiful place where students can go and adults can go to enjoy the different varying things they have set up out there. It's behind the school and behind the high school, over behind the track. And you just kind of wander back, it's just gorgeous.
And it's a learning lab, they
Yeah.
had it dressed, you know.
Yeah, Julian Raven, it's kind of a Julian Ravenscroft dream. And I think he's handed it off now, I think, or at least the leadership of it, so.
Yeah, it is a beautiful place. We, our grandkids called it the Doors Park because of all those different doors at the
Oh, yeah.
little auditorium area there.
Sorry, I handed
No.
off.
No worries. Let's just stick with the combos, sanitation and planning and zoning.
So sanitation, we're coming off of, I think, what was it, the end of April? Of when we had, all the town cleanup, and I saw lots of trash in them, so they were very, very full. So I think that went extremely well, everybody seems to utilize it and all of that. I do have some new business when it comes to sanitation, do you want me to go ahead and address it? Okay. So we have a 3-year contract with Bestway for our trash pickup, and we're on our last year of that contract. And so I asked them to quote us another 3-year rolling contract. And I'll pass this quote along. Basically, we started 3 years ago at $14.08 per unit. It's up to $15.24 in year 3. They're willing to hold that $15.24 for year 4. And then it would go up to $15.85 year 2 and $16.48 in year 3. With that said, our ordinance, we are billing each homeowner $15.50 per month. So we would need to raise at least $1 to cover by that 3rd year. So that's the proposal. So I'll pass this down so everybody can look at it. This is, the top one is the current contract, the bottom one is the new contract.
So Brandy, what you're saying is we're okay for year 4 with what we're charging,
Correct.
and then year 5?
Year 5, it would go up to where it would be more than what we're
So
charging.
we'd start losing.
Yes, correct.
Of course, year 6 would be.
And this is tight anyway, because this includes what we pay for the cleanup days.
Correct.
So we are real close to breaking even or whatever right now anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we have to have a public hearing on that, John, to raise the rate on this, on
Yes, you will.
the, so we'll,
So, okay, so I'll propose that we have a public hearing to raise the rate.
okay.
But it seems pretty fair, I think, and I think it's a 4% raise is what it equates to.
Except the whole.
And they're holding the year, so that, I thought that was nice that they are holding the year,
So the new contract would start in
26.
I would recommend at that time, I'll be long gone, but I recommend at that time that you guys look at doing a bid process, because that usually the waste management,
Yeah.
the competitor with them will come in with a much lower rate.
Okay.
One renewal. You get
Okay.
the incumbent one renewal,
Right.
and then you,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I definitely agree. We should just do one rate increase, know that we're gonna be covered for the 3-year period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best to get that done.
So
So we
that's,
just, unless we delay it a year.
No, we just,
We're barely breaking even.
Oh, we're
now.
barely breaking even now. Okay, gotcha. You said that earlier.
do we need to do anything official to set up do we need to like vote? I can't remember, to set up a public hearing. Or we
No, we just need to decide when to have it.
Right, you decided when to have it, and then notice goes out,
We have to have it, what, 10
at least
days?
10 days before.
Yeah,
So if we want to do it before the next board meeting,
yeah, let's just do that.
like, right, do it at 6:30 on June,
This is to increase rates in, what, a couple of years?
when are you wanting to increase the rate?
At the end of this term,
yes.
At the end of this year, so then they'd be increasing it for 2026.
26, okay.
yeah, that way we're covered and we're not. coming
Yeah,
up
because
next
we're
year.
honestly not, I mean, we're just covered and probably not funding. the
You're gonna have
town
another
cleanup.
fall cleanup.
Right.
So
We're not
it's gonna-
funding the fall cleanup at this point.
Do you mind sending that contract out and proposed?
I sure will.
increase?
Yep, I just
That
got
way-
it today, so I
Yeah.
will.
That way Bill's.
Yep.
Covered when he takes over the meeting next month.
So I just need to do public notice, you wanna have the meeting June, what is that, when is it? June 13th?
That sounds fine. I can't, right off the top of my head, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's probably.
yeah, that's the second Tuesday.
We'll do it at 6:30.
Question,
gonna say it's June the 10th.
for that
Okay.
public hearing, are we indicating what the increase will be?
Yes.
You'll have to,
So what are we saying the increase, that's something that we have to,
It's just a dollar. She was
I'm suggesting
more.
a dollar.
yeah, so we need to vote on that. Right?
We'll have it in a resolution.
Yeah, you're
it'll be, it's part of the public hearing.
Oh, okay, okay, got it.
That's what
Is it
you're
an ordinance?
proposing, is that
They
you're
have to pass
proposing,
an ordinance, then they can pass an ordinance in the meeting right after the public hearing.
Oh,
they could have the first reading on the ordinance.
That's what I meant.
Then they have the second reading a month later.
And there's no real hurry because we're not gonna do it till 26. So
Right.
we can do 2 readings.
But the notice is gonna have to specify what the intended rate is gonna be. So if you're raising from X
What
to
are we
X plus a
raising
dollar,
from 15, what are we charging,
15.50 to
Is it just 16.50?
I would-
Just change the verbiage.
You guys are good with that, I would say that we should do it.
That's fine, we can if you want,
15
17.
cents,
It
maybe even 17,
It's gonna end up being 16.48, so 17 is our logic.
yes.
So 17,
From
$1.50.
15.50 to 17.
do.
John, will you take care of the ordinance then for the June meeting? Okay.
That's it on sanitation. On planning and zoning, we just had our meeting. We are proposing that we create a remodification to our zoning ordinance to allow for an adoption or a resolution of parking in residential incorporated areas that kind of talks about what type of vehicles, boats, motorcycles, campers, et cetera, can be in driveways, streets, alleys, yards. And we're going to have a public meeting posted on that, and John is working on that for us. There also is a couple properties that we are, Bud is meeting with Tom Fouch, and they're going to be discussing their empty ones that really need knocked down. So we're going to discuss that. And then I'm going to try to get a hold of, or he's gonna get a hold of me, Mike Cantrell or Amanda Hollingsworth. We're trying to figure out who owns the property. And see about the one on Third Street that's close to the Ball Diamond, if it's something that maybe the town can purchase, and we would demo the property for them. Other than that, Bud is just doing a phenomenal job of keeping up on all the properties that need taken care of. There's several that are in progress, and making, slow or steady progress on cleaning up. There's several that have been resolved as well. So in general, he's doing a phenomenal job on just cleaning up the town, including the commercial properties. The precision machinery he shut down. He's getting the state fire marshal to come in and really make sure that they get out properly. Yeah, and vacated. Jazzy's, he's been working with them on getting that property cleaned up. I know they've moved the fence and are addressing driveway issues, landscaping, all of that to get into compliance. So, just doing a really good job keeping up on everything.
Agreed.
I told Bud after the meeting that basically he's dealing with stuff that's decades old. We're getting this place cleaned up. I really do appreciate what he's doing.
Yes.
A lot of old habits.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do park and then we can go through police and, take a couple of the items that are in new business and consolidate it all together.
We went over our plans for upcoming events since the splash pad's getting ready to open. Our July 4th celebration is June 28th, which is basically our fireworks and all that. Movie nights start May 31st. The first movie is Elemental. We're having a teen night June 13th, I want to say, because I volunteered to chaperone it. He doesn't know that yet. And now I sent, John, I sent your office something that they had me, that Dan Lake gave us for the park plan that had to be signed by, reviewed and signed by our attorney's office. I emailed it to you and Danielle, I think.
Okay.
Wow, probably right after the last meeting, so, he hasn't contacted me about it, so I don't know what needs to be done past that. And other than that, I think we were just setting plans for the new season, so. Concerts are scheduled too. We'll have food trucks, beer and wine garden at the concerts, so.
Okay. Please.
You want to do the EV vehicle first, to get it off there?
Sure.
Stipend?
Yeah, let's do that. So for that, what we'll talk about is, the fuel report.
I handed it that way.
Yeah.
There's two of them.
Yeah, so the March fuel expenditure. This would be prior to the deployment of the K9 EV was $2,978. After the deployment of that vehicle, April was those numbers are so close. We'll go from $3,000 to $2,300. So $700 a month decreased by simply deploying that EV. My request,
Times 12, think about that.
times 12, yeah,
You're talking over $8,000 savings.
yes, yeah. So that's like at the beginning where I was talking about, like, these are the vehicles that actually pay for themselves over the life of the vehicle. First month indicates that's the case. Let's continue to see how this trends, but it's definitely.
That's why I printed that off, so you guys can see.
Yeah.
And the second one's waiting for the console. As soon as it comes in, and we'll have two out, so it'll reduce it. even more.
The request I have is right now, primarily the EV is being charged at the officer's home. And I didn't, from the beginning, I said I didn't want to shift the burden away from us and onto the officer. My ask is that we would approve for any EV that gets deployed and is stationed at the officer's home, that we give that officer $100 a month stipend. That will covers the cost of the electricity. We've been monitoring Officer Curtis's vehicle, and $100 will cover that increase to his electrical bill.
So the other one reserves charge here.
Yes.
So
Well, we've got a guy that's gonna go out on the road. We're gonna give him, because we're able to
I see.
have him take the car home. That's the reason why I've been talking to Adam about eventually in the future, near future, hopefully, buying one more for the reserves. But the SRO that was in the school is now back out on the road, and he will be the one that we will give that EV to.
Driving more, basically.
That, yeah, because he drives it, he'll drive it every day. So we're gonna give that vehicle to him, but in the future, we're hoping to get at least one more to see what it's like with the reserves, having one of those cars which will be charged out here every day.
so it'd be $200 seconds. Is what-
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Okay. So that would be, can we make the motion so that it would be for any officer who receives a take-home electric vehicle so we don't have to approve it each time, it's just.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Now, that would, sorry to just go into the weeds on this. I wouldn't want to do that for like, if a reserve officer or someone temporarily takes a vehicle home. This would be, if it's
Probably
permanent.
just full-time or
Full-time.
part-time paid police officers, the way I would probably have it.
You wanna
You
say
probably have to do a
full-time?
resolution or something, wouldn't you, John, on that?
I'm sorry?
Did you have to do a resolution on that?
No, as long as the minutes reflect that,
Okay.
because technically what they're doing would be amending the salary ordinance for that employee.
That's
I
like,
give it them that extra $100.
So what do we put the cell phone in the salary ordinance? Because that to me is like what it is.
like, stipend.
It's in the salary ordinance.
We treat it, am I correct? We treat it like that, so it's not gonna be part of the taxable income, really, in the end.
Should not be, yeah.
Well, we do the cell phone stipend one time at the end of the year, I don't know.
Well, it's the same.
Yeah,
We could do a
Right,
separate
we used to
check.
do it
Yeah.
like once a month
They
or,
wanna do it monthly, monthly, is that what we're talking?
I think monthly would be great.
Yeah, it's your.
Full-time.
Utility bill.
Full-time,
part-time.
full-time or part-time paid officer who has a take-home EV vehicle.
That's what I made a motion for.
And that's
To
what I said.
amend the salary ordinance that says,
Right.
Yep.
Exactly, that's exactly what I just said.
Not to put words in your mouth, Tom.
So we're amending the salary ordinance, so I need to do. Alright,
Did you
Say
say
that a second on it, yeah.
so we can sign that at the next meeting.
We got a second on that? All in favor?
Aye.
So let's say we did 8 officers over the course of the year, that's what, that's what we would find. Right.
Yeah, and that would just, I mean, just think of the savings we're making.
Right.
So, I mean, it's gonna have to, that'll come out of the police.
I wanna ask where the money, I need to
Yeah, it's
know
gonna
where the
come out of
stipend
police
comes from.
I would probably move whatever it's gonna be from gas and garage.
Mhm.
I could just make,
And
well, we could
move
just pay it
over
out
into
of,
that stipend, or if you can pay
we
it
could just
direct
pay
out
it
of
from
that.
that. We should be able to pay it from that line.
That's what I would keep doing.
Because we're still gonna save money.
Yeah, I'm saving 700, you pay 100.
Yes.
Pay- yes.
Question before we leave that, how is it working out for Adam?
Working good.
He loves it?
Oh, he really likes it, yeah. The only thing with the dog cage in there, it's, well, it's not a little cramped for him, it's, he's like this, but, like somebody like me or someone else, or we'll just say Hicks to get in there with the dog cage.
Yeah. He could have.
Yeah. With Adam.
He'll have a
it's
leg
working out
sticking
for him.
out the window and making up room.
And Cora will be finding the other one, there's no.
Yeah, Corey will be finding the other, because there's no cage, so he can move that.
Okay.
You guys are good on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, we voted.
You did.
You said aye, Steve.
You must have left the building.
Something did.
We ordered our vest back in November. We were supposed to have them in March.
Right.
When we contacted the guy in March, he said they were on the cutting table and we should have them soon. We contacted him May 1st and they hadn't even started them yet.
Mm.
I have to have, because until we get those vests in, we can't pay for them. And this is under that grant where we get 50% back. I explained to them that the town would not eat that other $15,000 on that vest if I'm not able to get that in there. That the company would have to give us that $15,000 back. They got the guy set up in a hotel these last few days to size us on our vests again. They're gonna pay extra money before we get the vest in 35 days. So hopefully that happens because I have to have that paid for and sent to them before August 1st. Because if I don't, then, we have to pay the full amount, but like I
You lose
explained
the
to them,
grant.
yeah, like I explained to them, we're not paying the full amount because we did this in November. It's not our fault, it's their fault. They agreed, but also they talked about even if they get it done where I can send it in, they're still gonna knock money off of us. But I think they said a few $1,000s off of the bill, so. Also, everybody's read the paper and all that stuff. I just want to commend the police officers of the Delville Police Department. You don't know how many hours that they have worked on these cases that we've had dealing with adults and children. And what I like to say, if you have children in school, monitor their phones, watch who they're hanging out with, it's pretty bad when you have people that's in a position that will do this stuff to kids. But I want to commend those that worked on this case, because like I said, it put a lot of hours in some of the stuff that they see, and they have to go through pretty rough on them also. But I just want to commend those guys that's done it.
I think as a board, we would echo that.
Yes.
Good work and hard work.
Well, we're not done yet. We're still,
Well.
people don't understand once this ball gets rolling, there's more stuff that comes out. And if you know something, say something. Because we can't have these guys in our schools and everything else that's preying on these young kids. And that's what it is. We call it grooming. They get a circle until they find that one. Then when they find that one, they stick to it, so. You guys got anything else for me?
Yeah, there's a couple items on the agenda still, I know that you can speak directly to. The purchase of the meal for the 911 operation.
Yeah, I contacted Adam every year during communication week for 911. Police departments will go up and they will either do dinner, lunch, breakfast. I contacted Adam, asked him if it was okay if we went to Concannon's and bought donuts for him for breakfast. I know Cops donuts. He approved it. So I had Fred go out and get the donuts since he's the 911 director. So I didn't have to get up early in the morning and take them up there. So that's what that's for, was for them for communication, show our appreciation to them. And you got the receipt right, Amy? Okay. But that's what that's for.
And then, just so we're all on the same page on the TASER lease, the TASER company, we're on lease with them, and they required payment by the 15th of the month. And that payment was 44.
44, 4,500, something like that. But when I brought it to you guys, we paid the first payment out of SRO. And then after that, you guys said you would take the rest of it, and it'd either be paid for out of edit or the TIF funds. So it's up to you guys, however you want to pay it.
So
It's 4,500 every quarter or something?
No,
This is
every year or?
every year?
yeah,
I don't remember seeing one bill.
Yeah, I think it's every year. I think we did it like on 5 years or something like that.
So have we gotten another,
Yeah, Trina called me this morning.
Oh,
and
so
she
she
got-
must have
yeah, she got a
gotten it.
bill, and she asked me, and I said, well, those were the two options that was given to me.
yeah, well, that's what I thought, yeah, they just need to decide. So $4,500 bill,
We have to go to the, we have to put it in the, commission meeting next week.
that's,
And he has to put a resolution together for it. So it's just become more
Okay.
complicated.
okay. If
I
you're good
don't
with
mind
that,
if we do if we have more, then we could list them all in there.
well, until we had talked today, I wasn't comfortable with spending edit money, so I had said,
we got $50,000 today from it.
okay, then let's do that. So then we don't have to take it.
We got a check.
We did?
Trina,
You didn't mention that.
well, I don't tell you everything, you don't have.
Well, that
You
part's
don't tell me
good.
everything?
Yeah.
So you're just gonna pay it out of edit.
Yep.
Now, the next few years, are you guys gonna pay it out of edit, or would you take it to the redevelopment commission and ask them to pay it for the
That's
next,
what we were just talking
for the
about.
next 3 years then, and have him cut it to your stuff?
Why wouldn't we make a list of various things that we want paid out of the TIF and then just take that to the redevelopment and just ask for a lump sum to cover X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
That's what I think we
Well,
need
then
to
you
do
have to have
versus doing
resolutions.
one-offs.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
still have to do resolutions for each.
The-
Well, agreed, but we could do it all at one
You can
time.
do several resolutions.
Now, the best, you guys gonna pay for it out of edit? Cause it'll be 30,000.
If we're making a list, we might just pay it out of tip, James. We don't-
Well, that's the reason why I'm
Well,
asking you guys
yeah.
now, because if you're gonna do it, because as soon as I get it to her, she pays it, we've gotta send it to there where it shows that
And
it's
the
paid.
redevelopment commission meeting is the 21st. So that's.
And we're
where-
supposed to get the best like in 35 days after he measures it, so it'll be in June or July when we get it.
So just email at this time.
That at this time.
Yes.
So what about the vests?
The nice thing is we meet monthly, the redevelopment commission meets monthly, and these expenses seem to pop up pretty rapidly. Yeah, I agree with you, like, it'd be nice if we had, say, at the start of the year, we knew items that we wanted that were gonna come up.
Yeah.
But
We can start making that.
We were
list.
able to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I was gonna
That's what I
say, well,
think.
yeah, I think that's what you're doing, is we'll just make a list as we go. And then the next year, we just start the first of the year just saying, this is what we're requesting.
Yeah, we have a
Well,
list first, like the taser lease could go on the list next year for the tip request.
Well, and can you pay it out of edit and then ask for
Mm-hmm.
a reimbursement?
Well, you just
Yeah.
switch the expense, they decide to pay it out.
okay. No, we'll discuss it briefly, but I'm gonna take a look.
So where are we at on this?
We are good, we're paying that at edit.
Okay, so edit for the taser lease for 2025.
Yeah.
Then future years, we'll figure it out.
And the vest, is it gonna go vetted, or are you guys gonna do that?
Yeah, they'll be doing the best for me.
We'll make a request. But yeah, so we should make a request, we should formalize that we're gonna make a request.
That's what I wanted to know, requesting, and it'll be, how much?
It's around $30,000, and we get like almost $15,000
Back,
back in.
so you can just go back into.
We're gonna pay the whole amount.
Yeah, and if you pay the whole amount, and then they send us a check back for half of it. But they're also
So I'll have
supposed
to
to,
decide, you have to decide where.
Yeah.
Which
I
which
would
fund
just
you're
do
gonna take
it
it out
up
of.
to $30,000, because they're actually supposed to take money off, I don't know how much.
So we need a motion for that?
Yep.
I make a motion that we, pay out a tip, $30,000 for vests.
Up to,
Um,
why don't you say up to?
We'll make a request.
Make the request of the tip.
Yes,
Redevelopment commission.
yes.
We'll second that.
Request up to $30,000 from the DRC for vests. Okay.
I second.
All in favor?
Uh,
I think that's it. I think we're good.
One other thing I want to ask you, if you guys want, I had Adam Curtis compile numbers on how many times our officers go outside of the town limits to cover calls, or to take calls or assist, and how many times the sheriff's department comes in to assist us. Ours is here, theirs are there. So I don't know if you guys would want that list, but if
Yes.
you do, I'll email it to all of you.
Or at least the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Just the raw number.
Oh, it shows what we went out on and stuff like that.
What
So
is it, you know, off the top of your head?
it's either 3-to-1 or 4-to-1, somewhere around there on the calls. But we get called out a lot, and so does the other small town departments get called out a lot to cover areas. So I thought that might be good information for you guys to have. All right, I think I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Okay, hometown hero update.
Banners are up, we're gonna read that, it's up there. Next month for a while.
Oh, okay, well,
So.
Do you know
banners
when-
are up.
you reviewed the agenda, you could have told me to take it off.
All the great things that were done with Brad and Dan and Trina and Heather, is that all the great
Dennis.
work on this? And my committee, Mandy and
Dennis.
Peggy.
Dennis too, yeah.
And Dennis, that's right, Dennis is out there.
Do you
So I
know
think they
when,
look great.
like, round 2 will be? Is it like next year?
We'll shoot for new ones coming up, yeah, in March of next year. But we'll probably start earlier this year to start gathering. These are supposed to last a year or two.
Okay.
And I'm hoping they'll even last a little bit longer because they're up higher. So,
Well, they look great.
Give them down for winter, they would last.
Veterans Day, we're gonna take them down.
Yeah.
Okay. And they'll just slide with, they got twists or ties on them, so you can just clip that and just pull them right off. Good. Very happy with that.
So new nominations are going in next March. Is that what you said?
They'll be going, yeah. we'll start asking probably in the late fall sometime. Okay, everybody else wants to take part. I think there'll be several more
I do too.
after this one.
Yeah, I do
And
too.
we're talking about, at what point, if any, do we expand it outside of the town proper to the township? You know, because it's.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that happens next year, I don't know. We only have so many polls, right, Brad?
Yeah, and then we have to be creative on,
Double one poles.
Solar
they can
field,
go apart.
solar field protection device, I mean, town entrance.
What are you
It's
Well, you
like-
notice it's already started. You
Right.
notice it's already
It's up.
began.
Yes,
It's started.
It's turned a little bit more.
it is.
So now that they'll just bounce off it,
Now
right?
we're
Ramp.
like back on the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, curve it so they go.
So what do we gotta do?
So something about insurance settlement.
Oh, there's a point.
We already, did you guys already look at the quote and do all that? I
Yeah.
think you did.
Yeah, you said that. I think it was,
We
what,
agreed to
$5,000?
Yeah, we agreed to proceed, so I'm just double checking. It might have just been on there from before, so.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's
$5,000,
progressing.
right?
We did get the insurance settlement. That money will go toward paying it. And the town approved I think it's around $5,000 that wasn't covered by the insurance, will be paid out of edit.
This is all out of our insurance when we say paid by.
Yeah, our insurance reimbursed us and
Right.
he said they're going after it, but I don't know how far I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't have any car insurance.
They're going
Yeah, there was an uninsured motorist, so.
Sorry. I have a feeling I know where this next request is going based off of the email chain. Are we looking at doing like a modification to our existing
I would like to.
signs? Yeah,
Don't want to start adding, I want to celebrate the state championship that we have here in Del Valle. But I don't want to add a sign every time we have one, because, you know, who knows?
we might get
And so,
four of them.
yeah. So.
You could
I would
list,
love to- I'd
you
love
could
to
list
be
them
able
on
to-
one sign.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to add, just be able to add them to a sign or something like that, just keep adding them.
Well, we have the signs now that acknowledge baseball. And I can't remember exactly how that's worded on there, but is it just an addition of an additional line?
It's because the date on the bottom of it,
Yeah.
But it also says
state championship.
state baseball champions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
At the top of the sign, and then it has the years.
So we.
Although
we
you'd have to
just
have a new
changed that
sign.
To state champions, baseball.
They'll
plus
state champions baseball and put the date,
Academic
next
team,
team,
these
the
dates.
dates, and then whatever.
So you're gonna create a new sign each time you have to do that, but you'll just have one sign and not a new
That's what-
sign.
And you just add to
Gotcha.
it, you know.
Have the sport and the date.
I can call the sign lady over at Osborne, and see if she ever done this for another town, and have her send me
That's a good idea.
what she's got.
Like a skin, like you do the speed and stop
Yeah.
sign? Yeah.
Put the skin on it, but you can get a bigger sign than what we have, and see if they ever done this for other towns. I'll give her a call tomorrow.
I think you're gonna need a bigger sign, so,
Oh, yeah, you're gonna need a bigger sign, you're gonna have
Bigger
bigger.
sign. look nice.
yeah.
We did this kind of sneakily with the state highway, because they're all on the state highway, you know.
Yeah, well, that's, what's Brad, what's our favorite one?
Ask for forgiveness
That's
later.
pretty good.
Yeah, well, a bit of a PR nightmare.
Because-
Yeah, oh, yeah,
You gotta
really.
cut down.
You gonna take that then?
So you're gonna contact Osborne?
Yeah.
We'll just let her hear it.
I'll let you all know.
You follow up on that.
Okay, so in other words, we're
We're
agreeing to
supportive.
I
explore.
like it.
Yeah,
Right.
we're supportive. And we're gonna explore it.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to, we should.
New signs and new skin should be that expensive.
Right.
Okay. I don't, is this AMP agreement?
I add these things when you tell me at the beginning, right after a meeting. It might be the thing that just has to be signed. There's a thing that has sign here, little tab, paperwork somewhere.
Is it the safety equipment thing?
Well, the interlocal agreement is not on the agenda,
Oh,
but
wait. There it is, sorry. It's that it has, requires a second signature and it never does signature.
Oh,
Oh,
can you sign?
you signed it first.
They'll sign the first one, but I don't know if it needs both saying or not. Somewhere in there is,
I think it requires the towns, because the town's maintaining the.
there's
structure,
like,
so.
there was 2 pages to be signed. And Bill got 1 page signed, he did not get the other page signed. So they called me and wanted me to get a second signature today.
trying to find the scope.
It says do with the water utility, doesn't it?
I think it's the Baker Tilly PER.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's what it
financial
is.
analysis.
Oh, water utility, yes.
Oh, okay. That's-
It's for that possible project.
Mhm.
Well,
Somebody out there.
See, Bill signed that, but he didn't sign the page that is
It's
marked.
marked in yellow.
I don't think it matters, as long as it's signed by your vice president, somebody from the town.
Captain Phillips immediately, that's fine. I'm the president.
Okay,
The president.
oh, it's okay.
This request has come in, the next item on the agenda, firefighters using the gym. That got brought up to us today, and I think we hastily put that on the agenda. For me, I'd like to get a little bit of clarification on our end first, how we would handle access control, how we would handle the possibility of damage to equipment. Injury. Yes, injury to them.
I think it
Questions?
was to
Who all-
prepare, I think it was, all right, it's to prepare for say, some fitness test or something that,
Yeah.
That's out there.
oh, Bud might know.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, I
Right.
guess, but
There's a lot of liability questions
yeah,
faced with what you're listing.
yeah, and the equipment is in perfect shape right now.
I will say that I'm not opposed to it, but I'm open to having communication. Right now, I've been to, 4 firefighter funerals this year alone for massive heart attacks, because of lack thereof. So it's, it's a resource that would be nice, it's just the details need to be figured out first,
Yeah.
We do an interlocal agreement or some sort of contract with
Well,
the
we
fire
have to
department.
look at key fob, we have to look at injuries, are they gonna have insurance on their guys when they're down here working on it? Or would the town, with it being inside our building, would we be liable? How many people's gonna be coming in and out? Somebody that used to work out, stay in the gym 2 or 3 hours. We have what we call gym etiquette that you would have to go over with the ones that's going in there, because you just don't leave weights lying around. And I talked to Bud before this, so I like to sit down with Bud and go over some of this stuff, because I put that together back there, and we've got probably over $100,000 worth of weight equipment in there, and I just want to make sure when it's used properly. I'm not saying right now I'm opposed to it, but I would really like to sit down with him and go over everything, like, how many key fobs are we gonna have to have? Or is the town gonna pay for the key fobs, or is the fire department gonna pay for the key fobs? If it's broke, I would rather have something in writing for us, that if somebody from the fire department came in and destroyed the equipment, the fire department would be liable for any, because we got cameras in there, so we'll be able to find out who did whatever to it, but I would like to see stuff spelled out.
So we need to work on that, but we're not opposed to it right now. Yeah,
I would just say to Adam, I think having you guys get together and come up with some kind of proposal. if you
I know that-
come to it.
I know that my 60 guys want to do it, it's just,
Yeah.
we got to figure out the details there, and then we also, back to the accountability feature. You know,
Right.
there are some spouses and friends of some of the police department, it's all in the fire department, you know, they use it also, so we just have to figure those details out a little bit.
And my biggest thing now we're bringing in,
Showers, you know, and
yeah,
everything.
my biggest thing now, we're bringing in 60 people in there that's gonna be using all of this equipment and everything. And like the treadmills in there are about $5,000-6,000 treadmills. So when you take 60 people or how many start coming in and using this equipment, it's gonna wear out a lot faster. So when it starts wearing out, is the town gonna be liable for all the equipment, or are we gonna work with the fire department and all of us are gonna be liable for the equipment? There's where I'm looking at, because I know what all that stuff costs. And right now, I mean, everybody keeps it in pretty good shape and they put the stuff up, but I just wanna make sure we work together and get this done and have something put in writing.
Maybe it could be a joint thing that
Mhm.
could share expenses for it, maybe.
But is there,
There could be an interlocal agreement between the fire territory and the town.
Mm-hmm.
The devil's always in the details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would ultimately be the easy thing.
There's another job for you, Tom.
Yeah,
is
I
there
gotta stop
room,
Hey,
volunteering.
you make the big bucks though.
I gotta stop volunteering for this. I just keep my head down.
Yeah, you got planning and zoning.
is there room in your new building at all? Like if we were to create a workout space for the firefighters there?
Possibly.
Yeah, I just didn't know. I mean,
It's
obviously,
possible. It's
I'm on
just
the
a-
other board, the fire territory board too, so
The
maybe
funding's
that's
not
something.
necessarily always there to purchase, you know, $80,000 worth of equipment, but at the same time, yes, I know that they work for the territory, but they work for the town more so than what we're out there, so.
Absolutely.
I just want to make sure that whatever details James and I come up with, you know, that agreement is there. I mean, it's not that, I'll be honest with you, it's not necessarily something that the territory could say, hey, we'll give you $20,000 a year to use this, or I don't know. So we've got to
Right.
figure those details out before.
Yeah, I just didn't even know if that's even an option. I don't know
It's
what
an
all that
option.
space
I
is.
I mean, if we could come up with some decent equipment for a certain amount, like I'm completely open with that. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're like just-
Or something like that went into an equipment fund for that, and that's
Right.
the only thing it could be used for, so when something breaks down, there's money in there to replace that equipment.
Okay,
There is a line item in the fire territory for equipment replacement. That's part of the tax rate.
There is, but that's very broad. I mean, we're looking at $1 million trucks and
Oh, I understand. It's just all one more
Yeah.
pot to look at.
I mean, right now, I'll be honest with you, I need $1 million truck. You know, I've got a truck that's 30 years old, and that's gonna be a topic of discussion at some point. And we've gotta make sure those details are exactly where they need to be, so that, you know, just kind of hit the ground running with it, but do it right.
Yeah.
Because it would kill the territory, honestly, if, you know, a $5,000 treadmill needed replaced, you know, in November.
That's the same with us, I mean, I've
Right.
gotta look at replacing
Right.
vehicles now,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, it'd be the same thing all the way around. I mean, all it takes is that $5,000 hit, and it messes up everything that we're working hard for.
yeah, but, yeah, look, you take 60 people in there on that equipment.
Well, that's what I'm
Fire out.
saying, so we gotta
A lot
make sure the
quicker.
details are where they need to be, come up with the agreement.
Yeah.
And then go from there before I send 60 guys in here to
Hmm.
work out.
okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, let's move on. So let's try to work that out over the next month or
So
so.
those two will work on that.
Yes.
And
So who's requesting?
Tom knows
One
about
way
that.
Trina contacted me today. Were you there?
Kidding, yeah.
And
Yes.
the fire department's gonna do, I'm gonna read this first paragraph. There's a whole bunch more, but I'm just gonna read the first paragraph. Hopefully good enough. Fire department's going to partner with local resident and licensed mental health counselor to host a resiliency fair event at the station, at the fire station on August 16th. The purpose of this event will be to connect members of the community with service to help them face challenges such as mental health, substance abuse, reentry with, after incarceration, and so on. During this event, there will be resource tables including counseling agencies, shelters, and life-saving Narcan and more. So her ask is $750 to help support that, which is, I think, we've been trying to find something to
Something to
spend.
put
We've got $17,000 in a opioid restricted fund, which is distributed to us every so often, and we haven't spent a dime. So I would love to support that event, if you guys, I'll make a motion to be supported, $750.
I'll say that in a minute.
By the way, we have 17,000 in that, we have 7,000 in unrestricted, which I'm pretty sure unrestricted means we can spend it on anything.
Well,
It's
I
related.
think it has to be related to the opioid.
Yes.
Well, I mean, unrestricted is unrestricted.
Like police officers, you could pay for tasers or something out of that, or some of that stuff. You can pay for that out of that unrestricted.
but the restricted is for the education and the. So
It's
that's,
restricted to opioid things.
Mhm.
So
right,
that's what I'm
so
saying.
that's what you can spend it out of the restricted.
I might differ a little bit with what John
Yeah.
says, because unrestricted is just unrestricted. So that's like the general fund.
I
Okay,
disagree.
but this is
I mean,
unrestricted.
because it's a settlement,
It's coming.
it's a settlement that was made, and there are limitations. I mean, it's not free money.
Well,
Yeah,
that
they
should be-
spell it out.
Okay, I'm not gonna, but it should be restricted then.
I know, they actually sent out, here's the unrestricted items, this is what's restricted, this is what's unrestricted, this is what you can, so they still restricted, but they call it unrestricted.
Right. Because it's a
I know
broader
it makes no
category.
sense, but it's from the state,
It's a broader category of uses
right,
than the restricted.
right. That's why we haven't spent any, because we
Well,
couldn't
let's
find anything
spend
that
it
fit
out
in
of
the category.
restricted.
Right.
So
Yeah,
the
definitely.
there, yeah, it's definitely fits that.
So you wanna spend up to 17,
No.
no, what?
750.
Oh, 750. Whoa, that's getting a lot more money. I'll pay for all of it.
And that workout equipment.
From the from a restricted fund, gosh. I can't- From the restricted opioid use. For the August 16th event, right?
It's Tom that I say. When you mentioned it, Tom,
What's
the restricted, John mentioned, there might be some things we can do for the police department. to ease some of
In
the
unrestricted,
In the unrestricted,
according to John.
our legal
Counsel.
Which can be wrong.
I'm not.
But-
I'm gonna send you the
saying it's
list.
perfect, but.
I'm
we're-
sending you the
we're
list.
counting on
Why
getting
not
right.
put money on
I'm gonna
it?
send you the list from the state, you can go argue with the
There
state.
you go.
So whatever this request is for the stormwater, state, don't get it
In the middle of it.
Just have, just have drugs with a line.
Yeah.
X
In the middle of the floor, there you
That's
go.
right.
And we could
Then-
put
then
no
we got that paid for.
opioids.
That's right.
Those signs, we can put little signs all around.
Exactly.
Opioid free,
We're gonna have all the elementary kids
Free zone.
go through there, so it's an education project.
They tightened up these restrictions because in the tobacco settlement, the tobacco money was used for everything under the sun, but it
Yeah.
wasn't intended for that. And so they weren't real specific on their language in that, and it became just a joke, really.
Yeah.
Well, I know I kept getting list after list, you know, this changed, though. I have a whole list of it on my desk, so.
All right, cement
We need
quotes.
to-
I have two
Oh,
quotes.
Wait a
wait,
minute,
wait,
you
we
didn't
got
vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have two quotes. One for, I wrote it down here, $15,898 from McNally and Sons, and one for $22,000 from Vern. Vern did the main part of the building, did our playground, but I think
There's such a spread.
yeah. Well, I think that happens just when they want business.
Vern, and who's the other one?
McNally and Sons.
And what's the quotes?
$15,898 from McNally, 22 from Vern.
Yeah, that's 50% more.
Mhm.
But McNally's been around, right?
Yeah, they're.
He's the one who put the pad down there to show Motor Park.
Yeah. So So I make a motion, we go with McNally.
Okay. Second,
I second.
and how are we gonna pay for it?
Yeah, where's that coming out?
Got to edit or tip?
We've spent, just in this meeting, 10,000 a day.
Yeah.
You got your,
And we're gonna request 15.
you got your reports in front of you, see how much money's in there.
Redevelopment Commission.
I mean, you're already sending something to redevelopment commission. What was it?
That's,
The best. What is that one, 15?
15,898.
And when, this is the cement drive, correct?
The cement out in front of, the building.
Not to the
Street and the building.
The floor of the building?
No,
No.
right between the
No,
street and the
it's-
Oh,
building.
street between street and
It's
building,
like
okay,
like a long driveway type thing.
okay.
So,
We can't.
we could still submit the request, right? I mean, we still could request,
I mean, we can submit the request to the redevelopment committee.
yeah, the problem is there a timing issue?
Well,
When are they planning on doing the drive?
as soon as we approve it.
You gotta prove it for you.
Okay.
Call them up.
They're meeting on the 21st.
So I guess what we do is we have,
Have something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. You mean out of one? No, because there's only 7 and 4, and there's 17 restricted. So it's the other way around. So it's just gotta make it out of TIF or
yeah,
or supporting.
not right now. Well, it could out of capital.
yeah, because that is a capital expense. What you got there?
We got $20-some-thousand in capital,
Do that.
$20,000.
I got them valves I'm getting ready to do down there too, the water plant.
What'd you say?
Got them valves I'm getting ready to do the water plant too.
What,
I thought
what are those gonna be?
Why don't we tight anyway?
Oh, I didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
Is there any request going to the redevelopment commission other than the vest, right? The vest for $30,000 is going to the Delco redevelopment commission.
Yeah, I didn't think about this because my mind's been focused on the Delaware one. What about the 67?
Seven F?
This, if you look on your thing, I've split them up. That's this other ordinance that's going on. You guys need to,
Yeah, that's the last one.
I've created another fund. There's an ordinance to,
Yes, yeah, built it.
Yeah.
Where's the other one? Oh, there it is.
No, it's just
No.
splitting that.
we're just creating a new fund
Oh.
called the Delville Line Tip or Delville Tip Program.
67 quarter.
Let's make that.
Mhm.
For both or just one-to-one, one to the
Yeah.
other?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do
So
that.
the best to the Delville.
Yeah.
Well,
Because that's a much.
if you're
larger-
requesting to the Delville, the redevelopment commission, they can just choose which fund, which one to use, correct? They don't have to request
Yeah, but
from,
that way we have a note as to,
We
How we-
suggest,
yes,
oh, what you're
we
suggesting.
suggest
Yeah.
one-to-one, one to the other.
I
yeah,
got you. Okay, so what are you doing?
we're gonna make a request of the redevelopment commission to consider funding the cement for the stormwater building out of the 67 tip. Yeah, for 16,000.
up to 16.
From the 67.
They'll read, they oversee that.
Both, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They actually oversee any. TIF
All,
money.
all the TIF
So the Old
districts.
Town Junction
Uh-huh.
and the Delville.
All of them, yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. I want to see.
Okay, so who's making that? Are you making a motion or you're just gonna, do you have to make a motion to request it?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, so normally, I don't think so.
No, we don't need a motion.
No, normally it would,
On that?
the president would make a motion.
You're right. Yeah, you need
A second?
Yes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
that.
So why I got this in front of me, you know, we made some changes to the allocation of salaries last month. Well, it did what it was supposed to do at least, so we had revenue of $25,000 in the water utility and we had disbursement of 22,800. So we made money last month.
On the water utility?
So it
So
corrected.
the
what
changes
we
were,
needed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 'cause we were behind. Okay.
All right, well, hold on, side still there. So the last thing on the agenda before we get to public comment is the adoption of ordinance 2025-01, which is the creation of a fund essentially to split out, yes, right?
you're just creating a tip fund.
Yes, that
Yeah.
splits the two tip monies, so that,
You can have two different funds.
yes,
This is the original 67 quarter tip.
had gotten integrated in, and now we're gonna pull it back out.
What monies we can dollar
So
count.
then we'll be able to track. I mean, yeah, they'll work it out.
Yes. So I will look for a motion for that adoption.
I will have the motion to adopt the ordinance 2025-01 establishing the Daleville TIF fund.
You're just introducing it, aren't you?
Yeah, you gotta do three. You gotta introduce and then
You introduce and adopt in just in 2
Oh, it's
weeks.
different. Okay.
you're gonna do it in 2 meetings
Gotcha.
Okay.
unless you, there's no reason to
Yeah,
put it all
let's
in one.
Let me just get it out of the way.
You can, but
Let's
there's,
just get it out of the way.
So
You just have to introduce it and then
Okay,
Suspend the
I,
rules.
suspend the rules.
first you suspend the rules.
No,
No.
No, you introduce it. You have to introduce
so I
first,
make the
suspend
motion to
rules.
introduce
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
the ordinance for the
I'll
Daleville TIF.
second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye. I make a motion that we suspend
the rule.
the rules
So
for
you
the
can
adoption of ordinance 2025-01, establishing the Delville TIF 1 fund.
I second that. You know that this has to be unanimous.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. So now we need a
Motion
motion
adopt.
for the adoption.
I make the motion to adopt ordinance 2025-01 establishing the Daleville TIF fund.
That's second.
All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay.
Good.
It's a process.
It's a process. Follow the steps.
Okay, while we're going, yeah, this is just for Bill to sign. Do we have to do anything with this interlocal agreement regarding,
That's the one that John put together for us. Let John explain.
this is,
This is an interlocal agreement for, between Salem Township and the Delville Redevelopment Commission. This was approved at the meeting, so Bill can sign this, and then the Salem Township trustee signs this. That's for that building at your fire department, that 60 by whatever size the building.
So that's a tip thing.
Is
Yes,
that a redevelopment commission one?
Yes.
We have to do nothing with
no,
it?
you
Okay,
don't do anything with it,
That's
that's
just Bill's
redevelopment.
signature.
so that
wanted to
is
make sure.
it for our regularly scheduled items. Do you guys have anything for us?
I got a question for John. The crisis center in Muncie, is it open yet?
That's a
And are
real
they
good question.
taking clients?
That's a good
Because
question.
we've had a couple of people that probably should have went there instead of the hospital or the jail.
Mm,
And last I heard, it's sort of open, but it's not open. And they only take referrals. Because I would like to find out if it's actually a crisis center like we went to in the past,
mm,
to where they take everybody and they take them from all agencies, or if it's just for the city of Muncie. and you have to call and do a referral before you take them there.
I don't know.
I know the ones we went to, we could just take them directly there.
Who are you taking there, prisoners or what are you?
If we go out, say we go out to deal with a mental subject that should be on their meds, maybe they're not on their meds, they haven't really committed a crime, instead of taking them to the hospital and putting them off in the emergency room and stuff like that, or taking them to jail, the crisis centers like me and John has attended, like in other states, a police officer can take that person and take them directly to the crisis center, where they take them in, they monitor them for 23 hours. If they need some kind of help, they try to help them. But instead of going to jail or there, they'll take them in that place, keep them for about 23 hours. Then they'll release them. And it's better that way. We're not crowding the jails with people that actually shouldn't be there. And we're not crowding the hospitals. I've heard it's open, I heard it's not open, then I heard they only take referrals from the hospital, and they only take referrals from the Muncie Police Department. But the crisis centers we've been to, they took anybody and everybody. I mean, even if somebody was like drunk on drugs, they would even take them into this center and watch them. And I thought that's what this was supposed to be for. And I figured, is Meridian running it?
That's what I understand.
I figured like Meridian would send an email or something out to all the police departments, or they would have some kind of open house and invite the police departments and stuff in and go over all this. But I mean, it's a need. We really need it, but if it's used the right way.
I just sent an email to the mayor.
Okay.
Find out. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. I know. I've got some emails I sent to him that he still hasn't responded back to.
I got a few of those myself.
That was about 6 years ago too.
Any other items? Okay, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
You need this, keep this right there. What is this? Quick thing?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's really cool.
Quotation system.
The savings are
It's
incredible.
probably attached to.
That's incredible.
Like, meeting.
Incredible.
I don't know what it is.
I'm
Pretty soon we'll be like Margaret.
These already.
It's exactly what it is.
Because they take care of all the stuff. Yeah, it's in Salem.
See you guys.
Bye.
There, that's-
That die on the north side, on the south side of his house.